nobody is perfect, and so to an extent, we can't really define what ability or disability is.
There was no freedom from it. It just got getting worse and worse. And at the end, I had to call a fireman when she couldn't lock her knees. I had to call them when she would collapse. I would just have to lay her on the floor and get the fireman to come. And the last 2 weeks she was alive, I had them 7 times just to pick her up and put her in bed or on the wheelchair. So it got to be pretty rough.
I have no balance whatsoever. I can't grip my hands together. Can't get up and out of the chair without a great deal of difficulty. I try to keep myself busy, although lately it's been kind of hard because I haven't got much. And that's what I don't like. I wish I had something to do.
Well, I like to go to acting group. Anna, Tunos, and Lorelai in Peter Pan. I played Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz. I played Mrs. Hannigan and Aunt. And if I had any abilities, I could dance like at the arena.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, what about the fact that I don't have any disabilities, but I can't dance like a ballerina? What about that?
Well, that's not my problem.
Well, you know, I say to people, my daughter's a dancer, and Melissa's totally unable to walk. And people, you know, it's almost funny that it's a direct opposite, you know.
But Melissa and I share, it's funny because Melissa and I, you know, we're so different, but we share like so much of the same genetic material. We're also so similar. So what's normal?
I look fairly normal right now.
Yeah. And you can open a jar of peanut butter by yourself, and like you can open heavy doors, like you can, you know, get over the curb. But there's a lot of people who can't do those things. But maybe it's like taking the focus off of the other, of like what's different, and either focusing on like what's the same or just reassessing like what's disabled, or just reassessing what's other. Or
Not everybody can roll their tongue.
A lot of those things that you don't think about that you do normally that you can't do at the end.
The image of beauty that is projected to us is very commercial. Me too, because I thought I don't fit this conventional image of beauty. Who's going to want to be with me if we're all people and we all, to a certain degree, have the same concerns.
The only thing I want people to do for me differently is to open a door for me.
I was brown and I'm stunned just like you.
yeah, okay. Awesome.
We're all to some extent unequal at birth, but we all deserve equal opportunities, and the pressure to achieve and the pressure to succeed merely to surmount the expectation that I'm somehow less than.
But anytime you have an inaccessible space, it becomes discriminatory.
All these people on the spectrum are all not all that different, and everybody should be included. And just because we have to have accessible areas and buttons does that make us that different?
I think accessibility is important in terms of physical logistics, like, yes, I need a ramp, but it's also important symbolically because it says yes, we do want the business of disabled customers, and yes, you are included.
If we could get out, but if we couldn't get out, people wouldn't come to us. They just didn't include us in their social life. You lose your friends when you're not able to go out, and that was the hard part for her, to stay home and take care of her here.
To be able to do with other people as much as possible.
Inclusion means being recognized as a person and not just a disabled person. Acknowledging disability as a normal thing, as a commonplace thing, giving disabled people a place in society to feel accepted, and meaningful occupations with which to support themselves and derive meanings in their life. That's been my struggle.
I mean, just because you're disabled doesn't mean you don't enjoy things.
Advertising in mainstream media relegates us to a margin, and we want to be in the culture. We want to be there, and as long as mainstream media keeps insisting that we're not there, we're going to feel like we're nowhere. But above and beyond, I'm a person that wants to be understood by others and wants to understand others. I think that empathy, I'm always working on empathy every day, and I think that empathy is the highest quality a human being can have, of all the qualities, and that if you don't have empathy for another person, then that's the number one root of all your troubles and problems.
How do I see myself? Needy. So almost everything is difficult or impossible.
You have to learn very early on that you are not an individual, that you depend on others, and that we all depend on communities. So I think if we get past stereotypes of I'm a resilient individual, or I'm a resilient American, or I'm a manly man that doesn't talk about my feelings, then we can all, men and women, able and disabled, behave in a more natural way and just ask for what we need without feeling ashamed of it.
Mm-hmm.
I know it was hard on my wife to ask for things that I had to do for her, but it just had to be done. People thought I was a saint for taking care of her, but took care of me for the first 40 years. I took care of her for the last 10. So I got the better part of the deal.
If I'm a spectacle, I'm going to give them a damn good show.
We were at the racetrack one day, and some kid was walking by, just
And
like,
he
like
slips
12 years old,
in
like
way
some
too
deer on
old
the
to be
floor,
that
of course,
ignorant.
just like
And
staring at my
biffs it.
sister.
Like,
Because he was watching, and my dad has seen this before, like kids walking into poles and stuff because they're so busy staring at my sister.
Oh, sure.
And we just look at each other and we just burst
You
out
walk
laughing.
through a store in your wheelchair, and you have to tell people to get out of the way. They do not see below their face. If you're below their face, you're just invisible to them.
When my sister was in school, they put them all in this little corner. And they'd come out to lunch and everybody'd laugh at her. Off the street and said, "Are you drunk?"
I exaggerate my personality sometimes to be noticed.
But people that don't know you, they seem to be afraid of disabled people. They don't know what to do with them. I don't think they try to be that way, but they don't know how to react to them. They don't know what to do for them. They don't know what to say to them. And so they just avoid it.
Most people don't want to deal with it. They don't know how to deal with it because they haven't been around it. So they don't know what to expect. They don't know how to make it better, or if they can make it better.
I want and what I think most disabled people want is a chance to be accepted, to be self-supporting, to make their own way in the world, and to have a place at the table.